What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt Taville with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Deontay Wilder. You know, I've dropped a couple videos about Deontay just recently, last night, this morning, counterpunching. That's what I do. Whoever can get it, whoever has the ability to be counterpunched. And people ask me, they inbox me, they IG me. Okay, that's probably better. And they're like, okay, man, why you hate on our American champ so much? What's the deal? What gives? Why are you hating on Wilder? What did Wilder do to you? Wilder didn't do anything to me. I don't call it hating. I call it constructive criticism. But I was asked a question that was sensible. And they were like, okay, Wilder, I believe, which this guy was saying, I believe Wilder is the baddest or the best heavyweight alive. And I do believe he's the baddest man on the planet. And he asked me, he said, well, what could Wilder do in your eyes to be the baddest man on the planet? And I responded, and I'm responding now. What he needs to do is eliminate all threats. He's the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, yeah? Well, why don't he do this? Why don't he eliminate all threats? Everyone that says, hey, I'm better than Deontay Wilder, I will knock Wilder out. Deontay Wilder, I think, should take that as an immediate threat. He should be offended that somebody can say, hey, you know what? They say they're better than me. So I'm automatically offended. Now I challenge you to a duel. I challenge you. Okay? This is a contact sport. So therefore, I want you in the ring. You're saying you're the best. You know, and Wilder, look, Wilder has a lot of freedom. The WBC is wrapped around his finger. Okay? Wilder can do whatever he wants to do at the WBC, believe it or not. Okay? So it ain't like he can't take on voluntaries whenever he feels like it. Look at his Tyson Fury fight, this rematch. That's all that is a voluntary, because they can't use it as mandatory when he's already signed Fight Fury as when he was a voluntary. He wanted that fight. They cut it up the middle. ESPN, PBC got involved. They made that fight. That shit with Dillian White was a smoke screen because they didn't want Dillian White nowhere near Wilder. And that's another thing. Knock out Dillian White. You knocked out Ortiz, credit to you. Knock out Dillian White too. Okay? Ortiz is somehow second with the PBC. He's second. Okay? So he's the second best heavyweight. So Wilder knocked out Ortiz because everybody's labeled Ortiz as the second best heavyweight. Well, Dillian White, in a lot of people's eyes, is second best on Matchroom. Right? He beat Parker. He lost to Joshua. He beat Chisora. He beat Oscar Rivas, right? And Oscar Rivas was undefeated. Now, he's earned his keep. Knock him out too. You know, show you're diverse. Show, hey, I don't only fight PBC fighters when it's convenient to me. The only person I've seen him fight that's not a PBC fighter is Tyson Fury. And both times, those are voluntary defenses. That wasn't somebody that he was mandated to fight. Okay? So, when he becomes more diverse and less political when it comes to networks, because it will show me that, one, he wants to fight these guys, knock these guys out. But two, it'll also show me that he is in control of his own career because he's beating these Matchroom guys. He's allowed to fight these Matchroom guys. He's not like this calf with a tag on his fucking ear that, oh, no, that's our showcased cow. We can't, no, you can't deal with him. He's too valuable. That's what he reminds me of. He's undefeated, so therefore he's too valuable. He's a WBC champ. He's our American representation of our heavyweight champ. That's who we have. Okay? That's who we vouch for. So when Wilder starts knocking these dudes out, knocking everybody out, you know, knocking these people out that, hey, knock White out. Fight White. He would get a lot of respect if he fought White, because he would shut a lot of people up. You know, see, the power of action allows people that talk to shut up. Point blank and period. You know, like, why the hell is he not fighting White? Why? We've heard that so many times and he's blew it off. No, you shouldn't blow things off like that. You know what I mean? He would get a lot of respect if he would eliminate all threats. And I don't mean what his advisor tries to make everyone believe, and then a lot of the people that are fans of his will try to pitch it a certain way, you know. And, oh man, he fighting Ortiz. He's very dangerous. What makes Ortiz that dangerous? He ain't knocked anyone else out lately. So, you know what I mean? Let's stop that. You know, but it sounds good. Oh, he got in trouble the first fight. Yeah, he did. He did get in trouble the first fight. But labeling an old guy versus an older guy. So he was an old guy when I fought him the first time. Now he's even an older guy now when I fought him the second time. So that's supposed to be more dangerous. Come on now. You know, no, that's not. Fight a young guy. Fight Dillian White. Someone with no, like someone that also has one loss, right? That has also fought Joshua. Dominic Brazil fought Joshua. And then that lets you know, and that's what I'm talking about with the PBC network problem and all that bureaucracy, right? Because Dominic Brazil was a PBC fighter, and I think the only reason Deontay Wilder fought him, it wasn't because he was mandatory, it's because he was a PBC fighter. You know what I mean? So that doesn't prove to me that Deontay Wilder can actually fight certain people from any network. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that he can do that. You know? He said, White, all he needs to do is keep winning. Okay, well, how is he going to keep him winning? How is that going to guarantee a shot with him? Because obviously he's been number one forever, right? We know that. You hate Eddie Hearn. So you hate Eddie Hearn to the point that you don't even really respond to things Eddie Hearn says or does. So how is, again, Eddie Hearn is the promoter of Dillian White. So is Anthony Joshua. So is Joseph Parker. So is co-promoter with Alexander Usyk. So how are we going to believe that that Deontay Wilder is a guy that's willing to take on these guys when he's already publicly made his acknowledgement that he hates Eddie Hearn, that he doesn't want to deal with Eddie Hearn? So that's another thing. He's going to have to stop with all the emotional, personal feelings towards a particular promoter and understand this is a business. And if he wants to be the best for his career and his resume and his legacy, he's going to start having to put that shit aside. You know, you don't have to like a person to work with them. Hell, I know that for a fact. But you have to understand, like, hey, well, these fights need to be made if you want to be considered the baddest man on the planet. I don't mean by the fanboys, because you're always going to have fanboys. You're always going to have those people that kiss your ass, you know, suck your dick, do all that, you know what I mean, jump on the bandwagon and do everything that you say, because you have people like that. They're not people that really question legacy. They are people, they're followers. They're not leaders. Okay? And a lot of people don't have that mentality. A lot of people see Wilder for who he is. He's a guy that really hasn't been tested. He's making more money, but the money that he made was on the strength that his name was brought up with another popular fighter that was way more popular than him and way more known than him. And we all know who that is. I don't even have to say that. So, you know, it sounds good, but the narratives will always exist that Wilder avoided the tough fights or the tougher fights. You fought a 40-year-old guy instead of a 31-year-old guy. You fought the number 4 mandatory, or so he was. I don't know how the hell he was that, instead of the number 1. You fought a fat ass tubby dude like Tyson said, little tubby dude. Stavern, instead of fighting Vitali when you had the opportunity. But then yet you wasn't even allowed to do that. Say your manager, and we all know what he said. But the question is, why did he say it? Why did he not want you to prove yourself to the public? He didn't believe in you, obviously. Okay, that was a while ago. Now, a lot of people harp on that, but those are still facts. Okay? All I'm doing is giving you guys examples of how Deontay Wilder took the easy route. And if he wants to stop doing that, he would fight all possible threats. And all those guys that he fights, if he loses, he will get mad respect from me, because at least he's fighting the guys that people want him to fight. Nobody asked for that Luis Ortiz rematch. He blouted that shit out when Joshua was over here in the States wanting to sit down by making a super fight where he's already denied $120 million. Okay? He had already denied and passed on that deal. Joshua was here. Okay? Now, all of a sudden you picked Ortiz and then Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury came out and said, you know what? I didn't sign a fucking thing. I don't know what Deontay Wilder's talking about. And if someone signed for me, that is illegal. See, I remember this shit, people. So what he made a smoke screen and pretended that he already signed a contract with Tyson Fury to avoid that Joshua sit down. Because remember something, Deontay Wilder ain't seen Anthony Joshua since 2017, face to face. These are facts. And when he seen him, it was a fist bump. It was nothing but mad respect. It wasn't all this chicken, coward, don't wait, make the date. It was none of that. It was none of that, public front stuff. Okay? That's all was a forefront. For his fans, his fanboys, the people that worship and follow him and all that there. That was for them. And I think he did that because he didn't want that fight right now. He didn't want that fight. And when Andy Ruiz, let's full circle this shit. When Ruiz beat Joshua, he was so amped to be one champion, one face, one name. You remember that? And then when that didn't go the way he thought it was going to go, he was so upset with Andy Ruiz. Called him all types of bullshit. You know what I mean? He was pissed. He went on a 2 or 3. Everybody that would listen, he talked shit about Andy Ruiz because Andy Ruiz lost, because he knew that would have been an easier fight for him instead of a guy that he knows and he's seen has knocked out the guy that knocked him out. And that's another thing. The last thing Deontay Wilder needs to do is fight Anthony Joshua and knock him out. Shut people up. I want to be shut up. I love the idea of, okay, man, I can't say nothing. That's being humble. You know what I mean? That's humbling myself. Wilder went out there and knocked out Joshua. I buy me a shirt to this day. Why? Because he finally did something that he's supposed to do and people wanted him to do. You know what I mean? That people said he couldn't do. That people questioned why didn't he do it. Those type of things. And I want to be shut up. But those are the things that he needs to do to be considered, in my view, the baddest man on the planet. You guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.